Hello everyone, this is Midlife Music Teacher and I'm Mrs. G, and this is going to be a busy week. Part of the reason this week is going to be so busy is because of chorus signups. So let's take this week from the top. Today is Monday, December 1st, and it is the Monday after the long Thanksgiving weekend. So I did a lot over this weekend for school, for chorus, for getting ready.
I asked the principals to put this notice in the family newsletter so that families would be aware that this week was going to be chorus sign-up week.
But there is a lot that I did not get around to doing. So the first thing I need to do is go in there and get my lesson plans ready for today. I just have to print them out. I have to get all the materials ready. Tomorrow, I am going to run my chorus signups. And I have been running after-school programming for pretty much almost the entirety of my career since 1998. And I've run after-school programming for elementary students. I will tell you, I had to learn the hard way for how to run after-school programming for elementary students. So I'm going to give some tidbits on how I have found what works best for me and maybe some tips that will help you if you're planning on running some after-school programming. Today is Chorus Invitation Day. Not only is this chorus sign-up week, but this week is also a new trimester. Grades are due. Report cards go home this week. So I feel like there's a lot on my plate this week that I have to get done, because when we start a new trimester, I always switch up the seats. So I have to do seating charts, I have to finalize my grades for the report cards, and we have Chorus Invitation Day. So what will happen today is I will go in there. I did my seating charts for today. I still have to do them for the rest of the week. I have to finalize 2 more classes' grades that I just have to double check on. At about 8:50 or so, I will make my rounds through the 3rd and 4th grade classrooms, and I will take about 2 minutes in each classroom where I will ask the students if they like to sing and if they can get a ride home at 4:15 on Tuesday afternoons. If they answer yes to those, or even if they're a little unsure, I hand them an invitation. And I tell them, if you really want to do chorus, you have to have your parent fill this out tonight. And I did my best to try to use a QR code, but I was having difficulty with a QR code. Every QR code I did, it wanted people to sign into Google before filling out the form, and I don't want that. I want people to just be able to fill out the form. So I left it on the invitation as just a website address, and I know from in the past that some people are going to have trouble typing that in. So what will happen tonight is I am sure I will get at least a dozen, possibly more, emails saying that they can't get on the Google form. So what I will do is I type up a response with the link to the form in it, and that will be what I send. So I will field multiple emails tonight after sending home this chorus invitation. And so I will have to let you know tomorrow what I got done today, how the process went, and how many emails I will field. Well, chorus signups have begun. And last night, I did not have to field too many emails. I got about 10 emails, but it was very simple and quick and easy to respond to those parents. At this point on Wednesday morning, I have 46 signups so far. So that's really good. I'm happy about that. I give it another day or so, and then I turn the form off. And then parents will have to email me, and students will go on a waiting list. Now, it depends. If there's only like 3 students on the waiting list, well, it gets to the point where what's the difference between 75 kids and 78 kids? But if the waiting list turns out like last year to be more like 12 kids, then I have to only be able to call them up if room permits. One of the other things is last night I did finish all my seating charts for today, but I still have to do Thursday and Friday. And I still haven't done any lesson planning for next week, which I usually like to have some idea of what I'm going to do next week by the time Wednesday rolls around. So I also have some Christmas decorations that I like to put up in my classroom, which I haven't done yet. I have had students asking me if I have an elf in my classroom, which I do not. I do have a gnome, so I gotta go dig him out. Anyway, it's Wednesday morning. Let's keep going. Chorus sign-up week. Today is Thursday morning, and as of this morning, I have 67 students signed up for chorus. Yesterday, I put up my Christmas decorations in my classroom, and I got my seating charts done for today. I still have to do them for Friday, tomorrow. I also did a little bit of lesson planning for this upcoming week. I didn't get done what I wanted to. Today, I have a few things to do to continue chorus signups. Number one, I have a few children who were on the waiting list last year who did not sign up for chorus yet. So I'm going to touch base with them this morning to find out if they want to do chorus this year because they didn't last year. Several of the students who were on the waiting list last year did in fact sign up. So I just want to double check with these few that didn't sign up yet. The other thing I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to start to get my contracts ready. And my chorus contract that I have created was made out of learning the hard way for many years. I did a bit of running around this morning, and literally and figuratively. So I ran a 5K this morning as my workout, and then I realized it was trash day. So I had to kind of hurry around and do that. So I got here a little bit later than I wanted to, but I did get some things done yesterday. Got to do some things today. We'll see where today progresses. Hopefully, I can get those contracts ready.
This is a copy of the contract that I hand out to students and parents. It lists our objectives for chorus. It lists our rehearsal schedule so that there's no surprises. It lists our performance date and the expectation that students will participate in the performance. And then I have my rules and policies. For example, students have to be picked up on time, and if they are consistently late being picked up, they can be dismissed from the group. That if they're going to quit the group, please do so in a timely manner so I can call up kids from the waiting list. Also, I have an absence policy because their attendance at the rehearsal is super important. I also have a behavior policy, and students have to have proper behavior. They have to be appropriate, they have to be respectful, and they have to not be disruptive, or they can be dismissed from the group. This is what I have the parents and the student sign and return to me for participation.
Tomorrow morning, I will pass them out, and I will send an email to all the parents of the students who signed up for chorus and letting them know they're going to get a contract, and then I can spend the next couple of weeks making sure I collect them all. Chorus begins January 6th, which is the second day we come back from vacation, and I don't have time to chase kids for contracts once we come back. So this gives me plenty of time to get ready, get things ready for chorus as soon as we come back from vacation. Today is Friday. It's the final day of chorus sign-up week. Last night, I had two of the kids that I spoke to yesterday about being on the waiting list last year and signing up this year. Two of those students signed up, plus a few others. As of this morning, I'm up to 71 students. So today, I am going to turn the form off, the Google form. And what that will mean is that if students' parents get their slip tonight, let's say the kid cleaned out their mailbox and brought the slip home today, and people try to fill out the form tonight, they'll get a message saying, please email me and have your child placed on the waiting list. So today I will send an email to all the classroom teachers, and I will tell them that I'm going to put the chorus contracts in their mailboxes for students to bring home today. I will email all the parents just informing them their child has made it into chorus and that they will be bringing home a contract. I know I'll field some emails this weekend from parents who are going to request their child be put on the waiting list because the form is turned off. And that is pretty much chorus signups done. Other things about this week. Last night, I, instead of sitting in my chair, stayed at my dining room table to finish my seating charts for today. And one might say, why do I spend so much time on seating charts for trimester 2? And the reason is because of student teachers. So I have a student teacher starting in January, and these seating charts are extremely helpful for a student teacher to see their names, their pictures. And so I do put time into seating charts for trimester 1 so that I can learn the names, and trimester 2 for my student teachers. Trimester 3, I do not spend this kind of time on seating charts. I just write their names in whatever kind of order I choose. Also today at 3 o'clock, the report cards will be released to parents. And usually with report cards come parent-teacher conferences. Now, before Thanksgiving, we had to create sign-ups for people to sign up for parent-teacher conferences if they wanted to have one with us. And I will tell you, I asked the other people in my team if they had any sign-ups, and they all said no. No one signs up. It is a 3-hour contractual obligation to be at parent-teacher conferences. Occasionally, once report cards are released, I might get 1 or 2 people sign up for a conference to talk about their child's music grade. In the past, I've had maybe tops 4 people sign up for conferences, and in the past, I've had at least 1 or 2 of those people not show up. So it's a long 3 hours. Those will be next week. Parent-teacher conferences will be next week, but that is part of the whole report cards being released today. And the final thing is, tonight there is a special event at our school. The PTO runs a little elf shop, and then different teachers run different stations. Because I'm not going to be here tonight, I have to make sure that my room is organized and locked up. Sometimes they use my room, sometimes they don't. I'm usually not informed in advance, so I have to assume that my room is going to be used. So I have to lock up anything that I don't want any unsupervised people to touch. So I got to get in there, make my emails, pass out my contracts, get things ready, clean up my room, lock it up.
This is how I leave my room when we have events like this. I make sure certain things are covered up. I put my auto harp away, which I used this week to accompany the students. I make sure I take all the items off the tables, because they usually use the tables. I do lock up my cabinets. I put the instruments and everything that I use for the week behind my desk. I put my whiteboard there. I unplug and cover the keyboard.
I wanted to give a little insight to what goes on behind the scenes when you run after-school programming. Sometimes people forget all the things that it takes in order to run a program like this. This was simply the sign-up process. I will try to make other videos where I talk a little bit more about the other processes that I use in order to run a program. It's not just stay after school and then the parents come in a few months and watch a beautiful concert. There's so many things that have to happen in order to make it work. So thanks for joining me on this very busy beginning of trimester 2 week, report card week, chorus sign up week. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you next time. Bye.